there guys and gals, welcome back to Back Pocket Game Reviews, and today we're going to address something specifically about Camelot331 in his current videos, talking about how he is being harassed by r/GameStop. So recently he talked about how r/GameStop is sending him threats, and there's no real evidence that it's r/GameStop. He just says that because he went after them at one point, he called them an echo chamber, that this is them retaliating. So I wouldn't really even call r/GameStop an echo chamber. If you go on there, it's the GameStop subreddit. It is literally mostly employees bad-mouthing practices that GameStop employs, or even answering questions for customers, but a lot of it is shit-talking GameStop as a company and their practices and the way they treat their employees and or customers. That is literally a good chunk of what that Reddit has become. Now, back when I worked for the company, 'cause I worked there for, between 5 to 6 years, and I left maybe, 4 years ago, 5 years ago? It used to be very much so hail corporate. At one point in time, that subreddit was very hail corporate. Whatever corporate says, we have faith in corporate. Don't get me wrong, that's great for you to have awesome feelings about the company you work for. I loved GameStop at one point when I worked for them too. You know how great it was to just talk about games all day with people? That was a fantastic feeling. However, GameStop was never the greatest company. They don't treat their employees all that great. Recent changes have made it worse, but I mean, that Reddit is definitely not an echo chamber. So I think it's funny that he would say that, and I think it's funny that he tried to throw shade at it. So just to test it out, because he's talking about how if you mention him on there, you automatically get banned. No, your message gets blocked, because I made a comment on there mentioning him and another YouTuber, and he said in the thing that they're trying to do damage control. In the comment, it literally says, because they've never really allowed you to go talking about him much on there. In the comment, it just says, hey, you know, we auto-flagged this because we don't talk about him on here. So this isn't the community for that. If there are any actual threats, we recommend you to report those to the authorities, but we don't discuss this topic on here. And to be fair, out of the several months that I've been on there, I've never once really seen his name mentioned, whether that be due to the auto ban or just because they really don't want to have to address him as a whole. My issue mostly from him comes with a lot of the stuff that is sent to him. People brag about being fake online. There are numerous outlets you can go find this on, from Reddit to people on Discord. People brag about sending him false information. Well, how is it his fault if he's getting false information? Because that's what his fanboys like to say anytime I address this. Because he doesn't instantly acknowledge, hey, these are user submissions. I can't validate this information. And while some people may understand that, people online are unfortunately stupid. At one point in time, I made a video addressing RTU, talking about how the Switch using microSD was stupid, but then I kind of broke it down to how the PS Vita used a proprietary memory format, whereas they used one that's getting cheaper literally regularly. And I had people in the comments going, but you can't store games on a micro SD card. That would be piracy if you did. You can only store videos and stuff on there. Kid you not, this was a literal argument I had with someone in the actual comment section on a video where I talked about it. And I was like, see, this is literally the issue I have with YouTubers sometimes not being as forthcoming and as thorough with the information as they should be. Stupid people online will believe it. Stupid people online will not understand and will take it in absolute stupidity, because that's just how they are. And I'm not saying everyone is like that. It's just, unfortunately, when you are providing news or talking about this stuff, people need the full information from you. And if you say something as if it is de facto, like, yeah, I saw this while I was there, which he doesn't say, but he gets, oh yeah, I can't believe GameStop's doing this shit. Just, you see where it's, I can't confirm it, but I'm going to believe it because someone sent it to me online. Good thing I don't believe everything I read online, or I would think the Earth is flat. It's also hollow, where aliens live inside, and there is a planet called Nibiru that runs in an elliptical that drops off alien-like people once every so often onto the Earth to enslave us like the Egyptians. Yeah. This is why you don't believe everything you read online. This is why you don't believe everything that someone just blatantly tells you. And an angry employee who maybe got laid off for reasons might not always be as forthcoming with the incident or as truthful as they should be. And I'm not saying that GameStop is innocent. By all means, GameStop sucks ass. Former employee, straight up telling you, it's not a great company to work for. I have literally shown you and talked about terrible practices they have. However, how he does it is not always great. And even in this incident where we're talking about the Reddit attack, there's no proof that it's people from the subreddit or it's the subreddit itself attacking him, because if they can't talk about you on the subreddit, how is the subreddit coming together and attacking you? Do you see where I'm going with this? It's very much so finger pointing, but without proof. It's sort of like when he was getting sued. You remember how many times he was supposedly getting sued by GameStop, but it was actually just one DM who wanted to go after him? That's clickbait, and it's also untruthful clickbait, and people are stupid. Yeah. So this one DM supposedly messaged him on LinkedIn. It's crazy because you can actually create fake accounts and say you're anyone else. Just how the world works. I could literally be anyone online. For all you know, I'm technically just some chick in a room with a green screen, and this is all CGI. You'd think if I was using CGI, I'd make myself way more handsome. But the point I'm making is when you can't validate something. I've taken user submissions before. I've obviously talked about stuff that was given to me as a tip-off. Anytime I'm actually concerned about the individual's employment status, like if it's not someone I already follow or am friends with personally, so obviously I've had some of you guys who I know work there because I follow you on Twitter. You literally will post pictures inside your store and stuff. If there's any time where it's just like someone sent me information that I can't validate, a lot of times they're like, oh yeah, what store do you work for? I will call the store to make sure that individual works there, and I will still make sure that you're aware, hey, this is information that was given to me. It might not be exact. It's like when people talk about rumors as if they are guaranteed truth, like the Switch Pro. You know how many years I've had to listen to people talk about the Switch Pro? We're going on 2 years. It's been like 2 years, and we still have no information on a Switch Pro. So yes, at some point in time, Nintendo will probably release other Switch hardware. However, making that claim just constantly, and then at the end, so 4 years from now, if Nintendo releases a Switch Pro, and then going, see, I told you. I mean, it was inevitable. Your prediction wasn't right, though, because you've been making it literally constantly. GameStop is in trouble, though. It's something that is common knowledge. Everyone knows it. They don't treat their employees well. I mean, pretty much any ex-GameStop employee can tell you that. However, sometimes people make stuff up. I'm just saying, I've heard a lot of crazy things that I know shouldn't happen. Or it's even funnier when people say that this person's such a great person, but then he has people onto his channel to talk about how they were discriminated against, but he did nothing while he was there until he could make a video about it to profit off it. Crazy how that works, right? You could have called HR. Hell, you could even went to the authorities and helped him with a lawyer. But instead, you just kept your mouth quiet because you couldn't really profit off it and it didn't benefit you at all at that point. Can't lose my job. Sucks that he hates you because of your race, supposedly, but I'm going to keep my mouth shut. Weird, but that's such a great person. You're right. Got it. I've had run-ins with GameStop HR. I've gone to them about numerous things, and none of them resulted in me getting fired, but I did watch several managers get fired while I was there, all for suspicious things. Weird. Almost like they were reported for suspicious things. It's crazy how that works, right? So all I'm saying is this. Don't believe everything someone tells you online. Some people are very truthful. but you should always take information with a grain of salt or be willing to research into it yourself to some degree. Again, sort of like when I talked about how he was been giving bad information. People literally brag about giving him fake stories online. That is something you can easily find. Everyone's like, well, you didn't show proof. I told you, Reddit, Discord, you can go look for yourself. You have two eyes, you have a brain, I believe. Go find the information. I found it. I'm not that smart most of the time, and I was able to find it. Granted, I was directed towards it by someone else. Just saying. Sometimes people need to be a little more transparent, especially on YouTube. It goes a long way. Just a little bit of honesty can go pretty far for you. And that's always been a huge thing that I've tried to focus on. So I don't think this subreddit is what's attacking him, though. I think he just pissed some people off online. And granted, he has no shortage of haters. But that also comes with being a YouTuber. I have plenty of haters as well. I've had plenty of people say terrible things to me and things that they want to do to my children. And yeah, it's called trolls. They exist online. They're terrible people. They should have only been a blowy, but unfortunately their parents decided to go further. So here you go with this terrible person who wants to spout hate online. I don't agree with sending people death threats. I don't agree with hating on people to a certain degree. Obviously, there should be no issue with calling someone out for bad information, and this is kind of why politics are such an issue in our current society. If you have a different opinion than me, that's what it turns into. It turns into the triggered little kid just screaming in the corner. How dare you think differently than me? This is why people can't talk about politics easily, because instantly, if you have a different view than them, they hate you. It's unfortunate, but true. And being able to call people on bad information isn't hating them. It is just exactly what it is. Calling someone on bad information. Or asking for more transparency. None of that is wrong. So I'm curious what you guys think. Do you think he's actually being attacked by the GameStop Reddit? What do you think, Camelot? Where does your opinions in this whole thing lie? Because I'm sure most of you have seen this at this point. As I said, I've seen the message they send out. It doesn't seem like damage control. It just seems like, hey, we've never allowed you to talk about this guy on here. We're not going to allow you now. And if there's actually a serious issue, go report it to the authorities. They just don't want to be involved. It has nothing to do with them. It's not damage control. You chose to stick your finger at someone who you can't even prove did it. So, I'm curious what your thoughts are. Let me know in the comments down below. And if you're from the Camelot community, the Camelot, and you're here to dislike this video, thank you for the interactions. I greatly appreciate that, but I strongly doubt you made it all the way to this point, because I know you guys like to come here and instantly dislike the video and comment without even watching the full video. Crazy how that works, right? If you want to see more content, you can click the subscribe button, stick around, ding the bell. If you ding the bell, supposedly it'll tell you when I upload or go live. I don't think that's true anymore, but here we are. See y'all soon. Plenty more content coming for you.